Okay, people, can you see the time here? It's 8:47 a.m. in the morning. It's May 7th, 2021. I just want to point out something here. Okay, here we got something going on positive with my last little video. It's not even 3 minutes and, 30 seconds? Look what's going on. Okay, this is what I don't like about YouTube with their fake user accounts, people, because this is somebody that comes in with their multiple phones, right? And their multiple fake user accounts. You know, just doing stupid shit. Right? Just doing stupid shit, people. So, I just want to show you that, the gang stalking is, okay, it says at 50%. Let's just see what we can do here. I'm not a lefty. What's going on? How does that work, people? If I got 8 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down, how does it become 50%? Tell me. How does that become 50%? Okay? Oh, wait, here we go. I got the wrong one. 5 thumbs up, 5 thumbs down, all in the space of an hour. They come like that, right? Okay? Do you see what's going on here? 2 thumbs up, 4 thumbs down. How does that all happen in the space of an hour, people? Seriously. How does that all happen in the space of an hour? So, when I say I'm being gang stalked, I'm serious. Now, but you just got to get on with your life, right? It's like, why wouldn't they, whoever is doing this, what are they afraid of when it comes to justice for ShaMay? Like, seriously, right? Like, you got to ask yourself, right? Why wouldn't somebody want justice for ShaMay? What is it they're afraid of, right, in terms of, just hold on a minute. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to keep this short because I'm going outside, right? I get to work all day outside, uninterrupted. Tisha has Amari and Andre for me, right, for today. And but I got potatoes that need to go in the ground, right? So, with the cost of food going to be going up higher and higher and higher, which is already going up higher and higher. Apparently, beef is going to be going up, so, I want to buy a little bit more beef at some point over the next, hopefully within the next month, right? Before the prices jump again. And I'm probably just going to can it, right? Like pressure can it, right? But besides that point, potatoes, going next door, right? I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I have to plan my day outside. It doesn't matter what I do, it's intensive labor, right? In terms of, physical labor, it's physical all day, right? So, whether I start using a skill saw and a hammer, or whether I'm using a shovel or a pitchfork and, digging up dirt and getting in potatoes in the ground, which, between the two, I would choose getting the potatoes in the ground because they already got long roots on them. And, come at the end of the year, some potatoes is better than no potatoes, right? And being that I would, in this situation, after they grow, depending on what happens to them, because, I give some to my landlady or whatever, right? And, depending on how much I get, right? This year, instead of canning them, because you only really want to can red potatoes, right? Because they don't lose their shape, right, so much, right, because they have less starch in them. But outside of that, I would probably dehydrate them at the end of the year. So for whatever potatoes I get, minus anything that I might want to throw in the ground next year, I've already got it in my head. I'm going to dehydrate them. Because once you dehydrate them, they'll last forever in a nice sealed airtight container. Just remember that, okay? And you don't have to grow potatoes. You can buy potatoes and dehydrate them. It's very simple, dehydrate potatoes. And they last forever, and it helps to build in that food security into your house, okay? So I think I'm going to do potatoes today, right? Because, I can just work without being interrupted. I'm going to be in the dirt. I'm going to get dirty. It's hard for me to, do all that, and then come in and, okay, so anyway, after that, well, we'll see how long it takes to get the potatoes into the ground, right? And then from there, you know, I need to get into the greenhouse and get that little plant out, or find another plant somewhere growing, like the tree, right? The walnut tree, right? Because I want to get that plant off to Kitimat to Lucy, right? Because Lucy's up in the interior of BC, right? So it needs to get into another planter pot so it has a chance to take root for the summers, right? So at some point, I got to wade my way into the other half of the greenhouse to, you know, get that little tree out and get it ready for the mail, right? Like, be able to just, okay, so we got that in the mix. And of course, as I'm traveling around the yard, I'm going to be looking for Matilda. There's only so many places where she could have her babies, right? Now, she never showed up last night. That's not to say that she didn't come out after the door was closed and it was dark. And because I went to sleep early last night, people, because, you know, I'm going to be outside within the next half an hour to the hour, and I'll be out there basically till dark. Okay, so we're looking at, oh God, if I get out there at 10, I'll be out there till about 8. So that's what, an 8-hour shift, just in the yard, right? Basically, okay. 8 to 10, 10 to 8. That's a 10-hour. No, that's a 10-hour shift. Because it will start getting dark around 8, I think. That's a 10-hour shift. And then, of course, I got to get into the rabbit hutch. So I'm going to start working on cleaning out the rabbit hutch and take, you know, whatever's in there, right? And I'm going to start covering the potato mounds that I put in the back because I already planted some potatoes, right? Okay. So I'll cover, I'm going to get into the bottom part of that rabbit hutch and start pulling out that hay, because we're going to replace the bottom hay with new hay, so that all that bottom hay can go on top of the potato mounds, whether it's over there or whether it's over there, right? And then, of course, I have to get up into the box where, you know, the washroom area is, which is fine, right? So, you know, I'm going to be in the rabbit hutch today at some point doing something. I'm going to plant potatoes for sure because, you know, something growing is better than nothing. And then, you know, that will probably take up pretty much my whole day just to do all that. And then tomorrow, we'll see what happens to tomorrow. But in the meantime, you know, this is like the bullshit that I have to go through on YouTube. Not to mention, like, is this coming in? Is this shit coming in from that YouTube staff, right? You know, maybe not so much. I don't think, you know, they don't got time to, you know, because if that's a staff member doing that, people, then YouTube has serious issues in terms of their staff. Think about it. Would you want a staff, like, would you want an employee that goes around behind your back as an employee just to fuck with the customers or the clientele? Secretly doing it, right? That is, secretly, without their boss knowing that they're sabotaging the clientele, right? Like, right? Now, we know some of that's going on a little bit because of the censorship that goes on, and they're trying to mold that narrative. But really, realistically, people, I think we know where this shit comes from. I mean, maybe a little bit from the Duncan clan, because Uncle John's bringing up a lot of shit to the surface that the government's going to have to deal with at one point or another, seriously. So maybe the Duncan clan is crawling out of their fucking holes. I don't know. I don't think so, because this has been going on pretty much ever since ShaMay died. Think about it, okay, people? Right? You already know how I feel about what's going on in my yard because of what happened to ShaMay. Okay? We're obviously dealing with individuals. We'll give that individual the benefit of the doubt that this is more than one person coming in with their fake fucking user accounts, right? So, you know, that happened just the other day. There was like, you know, everything was fine, and then all of a sudden, it was boom, 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 and I'm like, oh, okay, right? And then I came back like 2 hours later, and they were all fucking gone. Which kind of makes me wonder what YouTube is doing, right? And then, again, we can see what's going on today, right? As if it's going to prevent me from planting potatoes, people. And cleaning out the rabbit hutch, right? You know, as if it's going to prevent me from doing that. I mean, I've been on YouTube for how many years? How many years have I been doing videos? Like, come on. Like, this is just so stupid, right? You know? So, anyway, I just want to say, you know, thank you to the ladies that do give me moral support. Like, it really does make a difference. It's a huge difference in terms of everything that you guys do, right? You know, with the moral support, how you provide it in terms of, you know, you pat me on the back and, you know, whatever it is, you know, you appreciate what I do in terms of videos and just, you know, right? Because, you know, you have to grow a little green gills for this sometimes, right? You know? But you see, that's what doing park events did, and going outside of businesses with the DJ equipment did, right? You know, people, it gave me that fortitude that I needed to be able to even do what I do today, okay? It's not just something that you wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to, you know, right? No, you grow into it, right? So anyway, I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to bring the camera out. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for the day. We're going to keep it light. A couple of my YouTube girlfriends, we've got some plans in the mix here. You know, we're on a good path where, you know, we've got some good ideas formulating here for you know, just justice for ShaMay and justice for our communities and, you know, justice for our countries, right? Because it's, you know, it doesn't start and stop with just one thing. You know, it's going to branch out, and it's going to encompass a lot of areas in terms of, you know, bringing peace and liberty to some degree. You know, like I mentioned to Lady P, you know, we could do a Zoom party, you know, like a Soul Train Zoom party, and we'll invite Grandma in to bring in some secret recipe. You know, that would be fun, right? Unless, of course, somebody's going to use that as a talking point and then go off and try and do it for themselves, right? Just, you know, shady shit, right? Versus supporting what we're doing, right? You know, they'd want to sabotage that before they would support it. You know, just like with those things coming in, right? Like, why wouldn't you support women coming together to help each other, right? Because it's not just helping me, people. You know, maybe Grandma wants to be a part of the group and actually feel like she belongs and, you know, is contributing her worth, right? It's not even self-worth, just her worth in terms of, you know, grandmas are important. They're the ones that hold all the knowledge, people. And this is why it's so important that whatever the government thinks it's doing today, and I don't want to get into this stuff, right? But at the end of the day, by removing the elderly from our society, right, without giving them due justice, right, it takes away that knowledge that gets passed on from generation to generation to generation. So anyway, props to all the grandmas in the hood, you know, for all the right reasons, people, okay? Just for all the right reasons. So now I'm going to go out, I'm going to get changed. It's probably cold out there, so I'll just put on a hat, scarf, do like the good old days. Go find the old pitchfork, you know, just cut to the chase, grab that potato box, go next door, right? You know, pull back the tarps, I'll show you, right? You know, it's nothing to plant potatoes. You can grow potatoes in a container. You don't have to have land in order to grow potatoes. So if you feel like you have no land, but you still want to grow something, just go get yourself a few planter pots. As long as it gets a little bit of sun, you'll be fine. You'll get a few potatoes, and at the end of the year, you'll feel so proud of yourself, and those potatoes will be so good. And speaking of potatoes, those potatoes that I dug up that sat outside in the ground all year, they're amazing. I ate them. They're good, people. They're good. So you don't even have to dig potatoes up if you don't want to. You can leave them in the ground, it's true, and dig them up as you need them. To which maybe I might do a small patch like that somewhere, right? You know, because they're amazing, right? They're 100% organic, amazing. Okay, it is cold out here, people. Now, mind you, it's only 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, yeah, 9 in the morning. But I told you we were coming into a cold snap, and we sure did. So anyway, that's where I'm going to go. All right, I'm going to put potatoes. Start with potatoes. I'm going to start in this corner. Pull back this tarp, and we'll see what we get. And then after I get the potatoes in, right, then we're going to come in here, and I'm going to start taking out the bottom hay. I'm going to take it to the back, and I'm going to cover up the potatoes that I've already planted in the back with the bottom hay, because the whole bottom shelf is getting changed. And then, of course, I got to get up into the top area, right? That's basically going to be my day, people. And then after that, we'll see what happens.
Saying Ray John doesn't have a case.
So
this is the
I'm
judge
getting
saying,
ready.
Ray John, I'm not going to give you an immediate order.
Right? You have to layer your clothing.
We'll do it in slow motion.
That's what you do.
Courts are famous for.
I still have my little blue work jacket, which works out good. And if I need to, I can always add another scarf, and then I'm and then when you wear gloves.
And then paragraph 77.
I'm starting to get a pot belly, people.
Reasons Ray John's motion for
60 years old, right?
Injunctive relief is dismissed. Thanks very much for going through
like an actual quote-unquote pot belly.
Here's,
and I'm like, okay,
my point.
What do you do about a pot belly? As if I got time to start doing sit-ups.
Justin and everyone else. I'm really just talking.
As if sit-ups would really help with something like that. When you get to my age, I don't know.
Hardworking.
After having 5 children, one of them being 9 pounds. That was
not to hear the whole case. That was Ray John saying, Judge, quick, you got to stop these guys. I can't wait for a trial 6
when you get out in the yard and you move around and you burn off energy and you build muscle.
And the judge
See, that's the thing, though. You don't build muscle in your gut. You build it in your legs. You build it in your arms. You build it in your back.
Do you have a real chance of success? If I don't give this to you now, are you dead?
Where that pot belly is.
Can you be compensated later? And
I'm hoping I'll shed a little bit of my pot belly by the end of the year. I think that's all
interesting. But the takeaway for me,
between us girls, right,
is the good behavior of Shopify.
I'm listening to Rebel News, and I guess PayPal cut off their donation line, right? In terms of
Shopify's actual rules,
and they're like losing out $1 million now a year because of it.
Weird.
And I'm on at the bottom of that totem pole of being picked on the internet, right? In terms of I haven't even started with ShaMay stuff, people, and we're just getting into it. We're just going. We're just getting ready to leave the gate, right? You know what I mean?
I just don't know enough.
And we've got just like
the difference between
and it makes me just wonder really seriously what's creeping my yard, right? When I see shit like that. I mean, it doesn't take much to figure it out in terms of at least a good portion of what's going on. Not all of it. I mean, there's somebody else in there that's just been tagging around for years, being completely like a mole,
these 21 things, these 13 things, these 5 things.
When that good old GMOI days, right? Remember those days, GMOI?
Can you give us the keywords? Can you? So they were really getting
off my internet,
really getting granular in what exactly was the problem. Imagine, put up the PayPal letter to me.
It was started before they took John, but they didn't jump onto it until they took John.
Was to show you how Shopify
that's when it really blew up.
And I'm not, I don't like deplatforming.
They used Uncle John
and I'm not
as
glad
an excuse
Shopify
to promote
deplatformed,
their
but I'm just showing the
website,
difference.
basically.
You can no longer do business with PayPal as a Levant.
Because
we have recently reviewed your PayPal account activity. What PayPal account activity?
Lifestyle. Those people
and determine that you are in violation of PayPal's acceptable use policy regarding your use of the PayPal program. What? Which? What?
So I'm listening, okay? I got to go outside here. So I'm listening, and I'm like, okay, well, in light of my little troll network, how are they going to sabotage the fundraiser that I actually started, 59 weeks ago, people? But, I mean, you watch my videos. When have I ever asked,
I don't know how many pages on our website that have
for money.
Which one broke the rules?
Like I said, if YouTube staff was to ever allow my channel to be monetized.
In violation of PayPal.
Right.
And look at the wording here. Look at the grammar.
Take me off the shadow ban list, the bad girl list, right? Then,
you're just repeating yourself.
I'd set up that account for the foundation.
What rule?
I would.
And what activity on our part?
They don't want that.
As a result, you're done. So you're done describing it. As a result, your account has been permanently limited with no further ability to send over. So you're done talking about what happens.
Right.
That one sentence there that says nothing.
They're always overlording you. So I'm wondering, whoever's overlording me with a broken thumb, how are they going to sabotage this fundraiser? To which Tammy has already made $100 donation.
And Shopify. And again, I don't like the fact that
Tammy's leading the way on this one because
but I'm just showing
I didn't expect
the
that,
difference
people.
between a shitty company like PayPal.
I shouldn't have to ask for money. That's the point.
At least they were
right.
trying.
I shouldn't. There's no reason in Canada to be in the positions that I'm in.
A disgrace.
Okay? Right? But I am in it. So, you know, anyway, it's there, and just as my yard is being stalked, and my YouTube channel is being stalked, and whatever else is being stalked, you know, just keep that in mind, right, people? That I'm towing that line. I'm going for the full mile. Wherever that mile takes me, at least it's new territory. Okay, you know, you have to sometimes pave a way for new territory, in terms of to have anything in terms of opportunity, right? And when you get there, and if you find out there is no opportunity, then you find another way to pave another way, right? To be able to establish, you know, an equilibrium in your life, being that you live in a civilized society that coexists among each other, right? For the benefit of what? Mankind? Humanity? Right? Isn't that what we're all here for? To get along for humanity? Huh? Raise our families? You know? Be productive members in our society? Just basic common sense stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to go in the back. I'm going to go get my pitchfork. I'm going to go get the potatoes, right? I'm going to feed the rabbit. And then I'm going to go next door. I'm going to start digging in the dirt, pull back those tarps, see what happened. I'll show you. I'll bring the camera so you can see what happened over the winter with those tarps in terms of weed control, right, to some degree. And I'm just going to start planting potatoes today. That's what I'm going to do. I'm a farmer planting potatoes today. Da-da-da-da, today. I sing to Amari like that all the time. Just stupid little things, right? Amari, my little blueberry muffin. Amari, he's my little blueberry muffin. Okay. Remember these good old days? Ooh, it's cold out here. Okay. Anyway. So we still have this in the mix. I'm not going to rush with this video. Alright? There's a few things I want to do in here. Obviously, I'm not a man that knows how to carpenter things in. Right? But I'll work on this. You can see it's quite large. So I've got, you know, I want to make like things that pull up, and I want to section it off so that as I come into contact with different animals, you know, I can take out something and put the chicken in, and I can put something back in, right? You know, if it's a bird that, or a rat, or whatever it is, rabbit in terms of whatever. Okay, so why am I in this corner? Look, there's old Charlie. He says, oh, come on, I'm waiting for my bath, man. What's taking you so long? Wait till you see when he gets sprayed down and cleaned up. Boy, he's going to look handsome. Alright, so anyway, I'm making up. Oh, yes, I learned. Just do a little tree. Let's just look at our trees, people. This is too cool. Serious. Here's horse chestnut. Isn't that a beautiful tree? Another little horse chestnut. Another little horse chestnut. This one is, oh, I'm sure that's a lilac. You will watch if it grows flowers this year. Right? See? This is what happens, Lucy. I don't know, right? For whatever reason, something happens. You can see they all died. Right? Just they're bendable, but they're just not, I don't know. But we'll leave it. Maybe it might sprout. Some of them, yeah, it's something coming there. Slow, but it's so many. I have to change the pots. This one you can see, it's getting tall. Look. Oh, look at that. Right? This is an oak. Oh God, I haven't even started my day yet, people. There's Mickey the gardener cat. Oh. My neighbors are, I think, up there. Look at this cat. What's this cat doing there? Lily! Lily, Black Lily, what you doing? What are you up there? Look at this. That's my pond liner. Okay. This is an oak. right? It's not a white oak, it's a different oak that I got up by the Children's Hospital. This is a black walnut. This is a black walnut. These are black walnuts, and there's like, here, you see, Lucy, I can take out 2 of these, right? On the day I'm gonna, or the night before, I'm gonna mail them. I already have a box. I ship them up to you as fast as I can, and you get them into the pot as fast as you can. And they'll grow. Just make sure that you put them on something. Otherwise, if you put them on the ground, they're gonna bust in. They're gonna bust through the pot, and they're gonna get into the ground. And they have a really aggressive root system. And once they get in the ground, boy, oh boy, they don't, nothing stops them, right? That's why I have to put things underneath my pots. Okay, just keep that in mind. That's a bay leaf tree. I'm just going down here. Oh yeah, potatoes, see? I'll show you. Go by priority. This is the priority. Food is the priority. Okay? So those, most of them, if not all, will get in the ground today. They should have been in the ground already, but there's only so much I can do. And then look, there's our warrior tree. Oh my God, people, look at this thing. Do you see? Do you see how it just takes off? Like, this thing is double my size now. It grew like 3 feet since winter. Okay? Look at it. Like, it's getting some serious branches on it. Do you see that? My son came out here and goes, man, that tree's getting big. Like, I know. Look, we got beautiful black walnut bark. Alright, this year when they get a little more bloomy, I'm going to put some online on Craigslist. Or, not Craigslist, but, well, maybe Craigslist. But, Facebook. Market. Look at this one. It's already past me. And this one's just in a pot. It's on a brick, though. So, they do live in pots. They don't necessarily like it. But you have to get past that initial shock stage, right? In terms of, sometimes you put them in a pot, they catch next year, you find that they're not. There's another one over there. Right? This is a little oak, white oak tree. That one right there. We have our hollies. Started off as babies. This is another horse chestnut tree. You can see it's getting tall. It likes that corner. And then we've got another warrior tree right here that's in the ground. I haven't had a chance to dig it out yet. Right? It's already going this way. Right? Because trees, they don't necessarily like to touch each other. Right? But you kind of want one like that. And one like that. They like to cross-pollinate. Just like they're apples. They're like apples, right? You have to have more than basically one apple tree in the neighborhood in order to be able to get good apples, right? Because they cross-pollinate through the winds and stuff. And here's another little white oak. Right? That beautiful little weeping willow. Look at this weeping willow. Isn't this beautiful? Hey? Look at it. Just love that corner. Black walnut. White oak. Some kind of walnut, looks like, right? Apple in here. This is an apple. That's an apple from the apple seeds. There's another little holly. Right? And when you have trees, you kind of bring them together and they provide shade and they don't dry out as fast, right? If you have, right, like this, you see? You just come spray. And this protects the younger ones. And then this is Mickey saying, here's the potato patch. I'm waiting for you. Okay, so here's the potato patch, right? And I have to do this, otherwise raccoons, cats, whatever, you know. So now when I clean out the rabbit hutch, I'm going to bring a lot of that hay and just go right over it. Well, I'll pull up these things and then lay down the hay and then put back down those things. And we're going to get a potato patch in here. We have our comfrey there, right? Okay. And I'm going to leave this. Okay? Because on the other side, cucumbers will grow with black walnut. Squash will grow with black walnut, not tomatoes. You can't combine the two. But you can, this is, right? So in here, I'm going to do something and then trying to have them go up the fence, obviously, and then hang them up over this as you have the potatoes underneath. This is where I think Matilda is, because this is where she was in here last year. Now, I never had a chance to get in here, okay, because I'm working on the lettuce room, aka Mr. Lace's cat house, right? And I'm so hoping she's in here, right? I'm so hoping that she took over the same nest. I don't know if they do that. I'm not going to rattle around right now. I don't know where she is. I'm really hoping that she's fine and that she just went off and had her baby somewhere around here. I haven't seen her. As soon as I see her, I'll let you know. Right here, I probably need this. And Mickey's just following me. And Mickey says, "Ah, back to the good old days. Back to the..." Look at these. Both these cats are following me. I'm like, what's going on with these cats, man? Lily! I already got spiders crawling on me. See, this hat's no good. This Andre's hat. I can't find my hat. Anyway, let's go in here. Let's see what's going on. See, this one didn't make it. Why? What's going on? Is it a late bloomer? Why? Why is it a late bloomer? What's going on? Right? This one did. Right? We have a couple of them in here. There's another little holly. Right? They're all, that one's caught. That one's good. That one's good. I don't know about that one. That's a Norway maple, which is, you can tap them for syrup. Right? You get more syrup, but not as sweet, whereas a maple tree, you get a sweeter syrup, but not as much. So, just saying. And then, I have to water these guys, so I should probably water these guys before I go next door. Just a little bit, right? Just stand on this. I'm walking into spider webs. Oh. It's already seeding. Never did come out and eat them. But they're growing, you can see. And I bought 2 more from the store. And I did start the seeds. Okay, and I'm going to start more seeds, only I'm not starting seeds today. I'm going to start, I'm going to do the potatoes today. That's, and start working into the rabbit hutch. That's the big thing. That's the big chore for the day. That will take me all day. Okay? So, and then that other little tree is over here. Right? Just happy as it can be. And then we've got our what is it, white oak tree, and it goes all the way up to the top. So, and then there's another, looks like white oak. So there's 2 white oaks in there and 1 walnut. Right. Okay. This one's a pretty one. Look at this. Look at that. So when they get a little bigger, and people can say, "Oh, that's a beautiful tree." Yeah, I'll see if I can sell a couple of them, right? Because it becomes like a jungle out here at some point. And I don't want them to die on me. I want them to find homes where they can stay. Right? And be happy trees. Oh, see, here's another one. Right? But people don't really value this stuff, people, anymore. They don't. They're just cutting down all the trees. So I'm hoping somebody out by the farms, or maybe they will see it. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this thick. I bet you there's 2 of them there. Do you see? I bet. Look at those little holly trees. I bet you it's already busted through the ground. So I'll have to get up in here. I can't. Oh, I love this tree. I love this tree, man. I so love this tree. You can't. Oh my God. I can smell it, people. Oh my God, I can smell it. Whew. It's coming from this. I smell walnut. I smell walnut, man. Oh, it has like a tinge of licorice to it. when it's fresh, you know? This tree is so beautiful. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Do you hear that? It's raining. As if I can see. As it is. It gets worse when the raindrops get on there. Right? I'm actually starting to see better without them versus wearing them, where I used to have to wear them. Oh, it's not bright. Oh, it's when it's bright, people. Oh, you can't imagine. But anyway, I can't find my pitchfork, people. Nope, I just had it. What? It was working in the front. I did the potatoes. Went everywhere. Gotta keep looking. But I have another one. I bought it. I've never used it yet because I've been using my old one, and I bought that other one because I thought you know. So anyway, I'm on the hunt for my pitchfork. So I'm working outside anyway. I'm gonna go into the greenhouse. So I'll bring the camera into the greenhouse. I'll make my coffee and I'll go into the greenhouse and I'll finish the other half. Right, in terms of getting the dirt ready, everything ready. But before that, we'll go into the X Club just to see what's going on with what I started in there, right? And then I'll get into the greenhouse because it's sheltered. I'll get it ready to put more plants in there at some point, and I'll start some seeds in there probably today. Since I'm in there, I'll just boogie around and get a few trays going on in there. You see, this is why we want the lettuce room with grow lights, because the weather is really, really cold. And this is what happened last year, okay? I started seeds, right? And, you know, they were ready to put into the ground. I put them into the ground because the weather was warm like it was this year. This year it was warmer than it was last year. And then all of a sudden this cold snap came. And it, like, if it didn't kill the plants, like the cucumbers and those types of things, right? The slugs ate them. Too moist, right? Got too cold. So, you know, if I had plants in the ground right now, it's hard to see, right? You know, they're fickle when it comes to cucumber plants and squash plants, and you know they can tolerate a little bit of coldness, but anyway, some food I am growing is better than no food. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go into the greenhouse after. We'll go in there and see. I checked the shed in the front. So far, I haven't located Matilda in there. It's not like I went in deep looking for her, right? I went into Mr. Lace's / lettuce room, Mr. Lace's cat house / lettuce room, thinking that maybe she came in from the back and she might be in that little cubby that's back there, but she didn't growl, so I don't think she's in there. I poked my nose over there, but I mean, I'd have to get in there because she's buried. Last year, she was buried in that hen house area, so because underneath the playhouse, well, the hen house, it's on bricks, right? So they can actually go underneath in there, which would be really nice for them, right? In terms of, I guess, raccoon den. But I'm like really suspicious. Where is she? She should be coming out by now, you would think, right? Now, Andre did feed her, so I don't know. I mean, the cats could have ate that food over there. I'll just keep an eye open for her, right? Unless she went somewhere else and had her babies. Maybe she has a den somewhere else. Because like I said, I haven't been seeing her. Maybe she just came by to tell me she had them. You know? I just don't want to be going, you know, through the yard and one day I'm smelling like a decomposing body because she went off someplace and died. When technically maybe I should have called a vet, right? But there is no programs for these animals like that, people. Right. A vet would have came if I would have called a vet. I know what place to call. They would have came. But what do you say? And I mean, clearly she wasn't suffering that much because she ate, she drank water, she came back, you know, laid down, had a little bit more food, you know, took off. I haven't seen her since. So I'm hoping she's not in the X Club. under the drums or in the back where a little ShaMay playset is. Because this thing needs to be, you know, that tarp's been hanging there for how many years? I'm just having a smoke before I get motivated here. I'm not going in. I'll work all day. I don't mind working in a rain like this. It's not, I mean, my hands are a bit cold, but once I put on gloves, you know, if I'm in the greenhouse, it'll be good. I just have to come out, get some dirt, you know, fill up my little plant, put some seeds in there, and maybe by that time the rain will stop, or it will just go down to a drizzle, and then I can go next door and do the potatoes. I don't have to do the potatoes first, right? I'm just gathering up things like looking for my pitchfork. So, okay, so we're going to go in the X Club right now, so hold on. Okay, so it's looking much better in here. It smells good, people. No mold. I'm not smelling no nothing. Okay. So here's our, this is what I've already started. I need glasses for this. So I'm going to give them a little bit of water. You can see they're drying out. Right. Still a little dampness underneath, so it should be okay. Right. Alright, this one here I bought from the corner store, so actually this one I should take out and put it in a bigger pot and separate it. Like you see here I did there. I'll do these ones here, but if you put them in the ground right now, the only thing that's going to happen is the slugs are going to come along and eat it, or it's going to die because it's too cold outside. Outside. Right? I still have room. Right? You can see I still have, so I can still bring more in here. Right? And then of course I can hang in here if I want. Now, we don't know if Matilda's up in there. Okay? Right? So, you know, just on the safe side. Oh, I scared myself. I'm already jumping. Alright, I don't like it, their growls. I mean, they've never hurt me, but they have unusual growls. They're very growly. Right? And when they fight, like really fight, oh my god, it's such a scary sound. Okay, it doesn't look like, oh, see, I'm jumped, did you see that? Okay, it doesn't look like she's in the X Club. The X Club is good in here, and she's not in behind the drum. No, I keep them for ShaMay. Alright, this year I'll bring them out onto the porch, or maybe I'll set them up in here after the plants are out and it's a little warmer. We've got our little easel, right? Paint this. This is the X Club / greenhouse / painting room. That's her little work desk, right? So, you know, gotta keep the dream alive, right? You know, these should be right in the hearts of apartment blocks and, you know, in local communities where people can come with their kids. And I mean, that's the whole purpose of this, people. That's all it's ever been, right? And there's old Scooby-Doo guarding the door. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be mucking around with before I take them outside. I'll show you. Obviously, beans from my garden, right? So we're going to get those all started today. Now, a lot of these packs are, like, old, right? I have, like, cans full of seeds, so I just went into the cans and just grabbed up what I had there, right? Okay, outside of supporting my local corner store with buying a few of his plants, right? In terms of, you know, buying a few of his plants. See, long cucumber seeds. This one would be good, right? The thing is, I get them in the ground. They start to sprout. I put them in the dirt. My landlady comes along and says, "Well, what's that?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know." We'll have to wait until it grows, right? Peas from my yard, you can see, right? So we're gonna get those going, and I think I got a box of peas here. Yeah, we got peas, right? Remember I told you I want to run some poles next door, right? Which would be fun for little ShaMay and for Andre. So if we can get a couple 2 strings of peas and a couple 3 strings of beans, oh, we're rocking. Okay, so we'll just do that, right? My issue again is I'm so rushed. I'm having panic attacks. You don't know what kind of panic attacks I'm having right now. This is bush, so you know I try and separate, but anyway, so that's what's in here. And we got tomatoes, 2017. So maybe I'll try those because they're 17. They'll still grow, people. You'd be surprised. We'll watch and see what happens. Here's some more peas. So definitely doing peas, or I put peas in there. Okay, so we're definitely getting these started today, and we'll start them in the greenhouse, right? You know, I just have to go outside, get some dirt. I haven't gotten my potting soil, but whatever. I can't wait for it because there's only so many days I can do this. This is pumpkin, believe it or not, from a pumpkin that's like from last year in my house. Just hold on a minute, I'm going to show you something. Oops, sorry. I turned off the thing by accident. So I'll just, these ones came from my pumpkin that look like that. And these are only just like a month old or so, right? I just did this, okay? So whether they grow or not remains to be seen. I think there's something inside. And if they grow, I'm just going to put them next door along the fence line and try and dig out as much of the weeds as I can just to get those started. And then, you know, we get a whole whack of pumpkins. Well, we'll donate those, right, to people who want pumpkin, right? Pumpkin is good. These are poppy seeds. My Korean neighbors used to grow poppies. So every now and then, I'd get a poppy in my yard. And anyway, when they moved out, there was a whole bunch of poppy seeds that hadn't been, you know. So I got them, right? But that's 2019, right? Because they're still, you know, I still come across them in my yard or next door, right, when I'm out and about doing things in the yard. So I'm going to just see if we can get a whole bunch of poppy little seeds. I don't know if I should be throwing some in the ground, you know, but with this weather the way it is, like, seriously, I might wait for a little while longer. I don't know how long it takes for a poppy to actually germinate in terms of seed and grow and produce and whatever, right? But I'll start some in the greenhouse. What else we got? This is a different kind of squash, which I've already started some squash. I've already been in this. I've already been in here, so I've done some of these. I like to try and, like my landlady, what do you got this year? You know, you never know what you're gonna get, right? So I might start some of that, right? I think I've already done some of those. Now you see, my landlady would like something like that, so maybe I'll do another batch, right? You know, if we can put them next door. You know, I tried to grow dill next door, but it didn't grow very well, and I don't have, you know, I only have so much planting. See, acorn squash 2020, right? We've got lemon seeds from organic lemons. But growing a lemon tree, you need to have it warm. I did do a couple of sunflowers this year, so we'll see what happens. What else is in here? You know, just stuff. There's poppy again. More beans. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get on it. Oops, sorry. I turned off the thing by accident. So I'll just, these ones came from my pumpkin that look like that. And these are only just like a month old or so, right? I just did this, okay? So whether they grow or not remains to be seen. I think there's something inside. And if they grow, I'm just going to put them next door along the fence line and try and dig out as much of the weeds as I can just to get those started. And then, you know, we get a whole whack of pumpkins. Well, we'll donate those, right, to people who want pumpkin, right? Pumpkin is good. These are poppy seeds. My Korean neighbors used to grow poppies. So every now and then, I'd get a poppy in my yard. And anyway, when they moved out, there was a whole bunch of poppy seeds that hadn't been, you know. So I got them, right? But that's 2019, right? Because they're still, you know, I still come across them in my yard or next door, right, when I'm out and about doing things in the yard. So I'm going to just see if we can get a whole bunch of poppy little seeds. I don't know if I should be throwing some in the ground, you know, but with this weather the way it is, like, seriously, I might wait for a little while longer. I don't know how long it takes for a poppy to actually germinate in terms of seed and grow and produce and whatever, right? But I'll start some in the greenhouse. What else we got? This is a different kind of squash, which I've already started some squash. I've already been in this. I've already been in here, so I've done some of these. I like to try and, like my landlady, what do you got this year? You know, you never know what you're gonna get, right? So I might start some of that, right? I think I've already done some of those. Now you see, my landlady would like something like that, so maybe I'll do another batch, right? You know, if we can put them next door. You know, I tried to grow dill next door, but it didn't grow very well, and I don't have, I only have so much planting. See, acorn squash 2020, right? We've got lemon seeds from organic lemons. But growing a lemon tree, you need to have it warm. I did do a couple of sunflowers this year, so we'll see what happens. What else is in here? Just stuff. There's Poppy again. Right, more beans. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get on it. Okay, so I'm inside having my coffee, listening to the rain. I think it kind of stopped. I don't hear nothing right now. But I've already got it in my head. I'm going in the greenhouse first. I'm going to get those planter pots that I have ready there, weed them, moisten them, get them ready for tomato plants. Right? Or peppers. That's what I'm going to be growing in there. Peppers or tomatoes. And my goal is, excuse me, is to have the lettuce room all set up by the end of the summer, and so that if I still have some plants that are still living and in bloom, like last year, right, because they got in late, I can just take the whole thing and move it to the lettuce room, and it will continue to produce for a month or two. I can almost guarantee you that, and then I don't have to worry about fresh tomatoes. Right? That's the goal for those two things, right? And so after I get them all ready to go, and plus I bought 2 more tomato plants, so I'll put them in one of those buckets, right? And then I'll start seeds, right? I'll bring the camera in. I'll show you what I'm doing, and then I'm going to put some more seeds. Something's already popping up. I don't know what it is. Don't ask me. But I seen something popping up in the X Club, right? So I'll put another 3 or 4 more trays in there, or do something anyway. Do something in there and have some started in there, and then if, depending on the time, right? Because I don't have no kids with me right now. It's I get, it's so quiet, right? And I get panic attacks. When I'm going off doing something like I'm doing right now, I get panic attacks because I get panic attacks a lot of the times. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. I could be cooking and get panic attacks because I feel like I should be doing something else. But food is important, people, right? If you can plant food, like, you'd be silly not to, right? So I know it's just something I have to do. Panic attack and all, right? And then when the food grows and you have to prep it, oh boy, that can be a chore in itself. But at the end of the day, right, it helps to build in food security. Like that pumpkin, for example, I'm like, oh my God, I already got pumpkin, like in the freezer. You can't can pumpkin mashed up, okay? Just remember that. Canning squash, you can, and they only recommend certain types of squash because it can mash up, right? And for whatever reason, I don't know, the acidity around it, I don't know. They just don't recommend canning pumpkin versus freezing it. And I've already got in the freezer, but because my kitchen is so small, and and I don't make as much pumpkin pie as I should. That's why if those seeds catch that I have, and I put them where I want them, and all of a sudden I have this huge pumpkin patch, it's like, by all means, have a pumpkin. I don't need them. I already got pumpkin in my freezer, right? I like the pumpkin seeds. Oh, the pumpkin seeds, after you roast them, they're so, so good. But, I don't need like 15, 25 pumpkins, right? In a situation like that, I'd give pumpkins away, or I'd give it to, we'll just call her Pastor Granny, okay? That's where I'm going to get horse chestnuts from this year. Andre is going to be so excited when he finds out that we're going to be collecting horse chestnuts this year, because I'm going to work with Tammy on building little projects around them. Because now that I did I reactivated, I guess you could say, funds are for, justice for ShaMay with or without a lawyer. Ideally, we would like a lawyer. I put down $50,000. I don't expect to get $50,000, but, with Tammy donating $100, you never know, people. It might happen, right? And I know that you can add in little, I don't want to call them rewards or incentives, but they're like a thank you, right? If you make a donation, I send you something as a thank you, right? Little horse chestnut Lucky Charms could be one of them, right? So because I still have them, they're hanging here. I'll show you. Technically, I should be mailing one out to Tammy now. I'll show you. Hold on. How many years? How many years have these things been hanging on my elk horns? Those are elk horns, right? How many years have they been hanging? Remember I made those? When did I make those? 3-4 years ago? They're just dusty. They're just dusty. They have lucky pennies on them because the penny's been phased out in Canada. Right? They don't manufacture pennies anymore. Do you see? Look. I got some already made in a container. I tried to take them out into the community we were doing with Uncle John, right? The girls with me downtown. And I have a video on Facebook, lucky charm, right? What do you want to do? So, okay. But Tammy, you have to get in contact with me. So, something like this, I would just put in the mail in an envelope with a Canadian stamp on it as a thank you, right? I have them. I have a whole box of horse chestnuts that have been bagged up in the quantity amount of 10 per bag. Like a whole box full. Downstairs in my storage. Right? Just waiting to be loved. Right? I had a plan to do something with those too. But anyway, we can start, right? When I sent off Lady P's books, I wasn't thinking like this, right? I didn't even cross my mind. But now that like I said, I activated that Fundsar account, people who make a donation should at least, it depends on how much it would cost to mail just this by itself in the, what is it called? Through mail, right? In just an envelope by itself. If they make a $5 donation, but it costs $5 to send this to the States, it doesn't make sense, right? But if they make a $10 donation, and it costs $5 to send to the States, then yeah, why not, right? Right? So, this is real leather, right? Not all of them. Other ones I got just, this stuff. No. These ones are all made with real leather. This is strictly 100% organic. This one doesn't have a penny, but it doesn't matter, right? It's the principle, right? It's what it represents, right? In terms of good luck, right? And passing it on, and sharing the wealth, or just everything that I've been working on for 21 years, people. Okay. Anyway. I'm going to have a good day. All right? I get nervous when the kids are not around me because I'm so used to having that chatter in the background. Okay? I don't get an opportunity just to go outside and work like the good old days where Uncle John would make me a tea or a coffee, or ShaMay would make me a Tisha does once in a while, right? When, she's around and I'm out in the yard and stuff. But for the most part, it's like, I'm just going to get out. I'm going to work till you watch. It'll be 8 o'clock, 7:38. See, I think the sun is coming up. So if that's the case, I should go next door and dig in the dirt. If it stopped raining, I should go dig in the dirt. Get those potatoes in the ground. And then go in the greenhouse. But I got it in my head, I was going to go in the greenhouse. No, I'm going to go in the dirt. Get the potatoes in the ground. And then I can go into the greenhouse later. I don't hear the rain. And I think I see the sun here poking through. I won't know until I get outside. And the corner that I'm using to put the potatoes in is under a tree, so even if it drizzles a little bit, it's not a big deal, right? It's just a matter of getting out there and getting motivated. I have 2 days to do all this in terms of what I'd like to accomplish in those 2 days. With the rabbit hutch and the hay, putting the potatoes in the ground, and at least getting those seeds started. Because after that, then I can get on with skill sawing and hammering and painting, and and I have to level out a walkway to lay down bricks and work on the pond. And as the seeds are growing, then you put them in the ground, and you still got a little time to hammer and do this, and I have to do something on this porch, man. Oh, I'll show you another day. I'm so glad the boys put those beams underneath the porch. I'll tell you, if they didn't do that, people, there wouldn't be no porch right now. Right? That porch was old when I moved in. That's the burden on my landlady, right? She knows the porch is getting old, and that's a big job. And, if she has to pay for that, boy, oh boy, that's like, that's when it's like, maybe it's time to sell the house. So I just try and, get it patched up as best as I can, just to, make it easy on everybody, right? As long as it's, sound, it's safe, it's not going to come crashing down, then who cares if it's a little patched up, right? It's okay to have a leaky boat that you patched up. At least you got a boat, right? Right? Just remember that, okay? Whenever anything you do in life, just remember, even though it's a patched up, leaky boat that you have to still patch up from time to time, you're still in a boat, okay? All right, so I'm going to finish my coffee. I got to change my socks. My feet are cold. I might even double up on my socks. I don't want cold feet, all right? And I think I'm gonna get on with potatoes. I don't hear the rain, people. Rain, rain, go away. Come back another day. Oh yeah. The other thing is, I'm putting on doubling up socks right now. What do you call it? Looking back, right, in time, like, who would have ever thought that you would end up at, say, like my age, 60 years old, living your life in fear of dying, not because you yourself, quote unquote, are dying, but because other people around you want you dead. Like, seriously, because that's the way, society seems to be going in terms of they're normalizing it, people. And I know I'm not the only one that's feeling like they're being hunted, right? Or stalked, right? That's a big one. On a hit list for death, right? Because of their ideologies, political agenda, whatever it is that fuels that kind of thinking, to the point where it actually provokes people to implement the mechanisms to make that happen, not only on an individual scale, but on a mass scale to which we're facing today, right? Like, it's really hard to have a normal life in terms of what I'm doing right now, in terms of planting potatoes. And it's, just like those farmers up in Alberta, right? They're having their stuff shut down, and the rodeos, and the small town cafes, and and the heart of just living and being productive and producing things, and being able to look after your family and stuff. Like, it's such a crime to look after families, and where does this come from? In terms of, most people don't see farmers as quote-unquote rich, but anyone that's got money wants the farmer's land, okay? They won't respect the farmer because the farmer, right, doesn't look rich. But yet it's the farmers who are under attack so that the ones that, I guess, look rich can take over the land. when in fact it's the farmer that's rich, not only in knowledge, but in land. And they can't even enjoy being farmers anymore, people, because they themselves and their families are under attack. So I don't take what's going on in the world personally, but if I'm feeling like I'm under attack, and which go into my videos, right? I've been exposing it for a long time now, right? And it's just really hard to go out there and plant seeds and be at peace with the process when there's so many other individuals around you that just don't want you to have anything outside of maybe a coffin. And even then, that's too good for you as to how those individuals treat you, view you, stalk you, target you, corner you, coerce you, and whatever, antagonize you. It doesn't, right? Like the lawsuit with the government. Of course they're going to say no. I'm just wondering what they're going to do now that I've called them to a trial. And if they call me in somehow, some way, and say, well, you can't let her have a trial, Your Honor, because she can't afford to pay it, I'll be like, okay, fair enough, but, there are people, one, right, who's basically made it possible to pay. So before you presume me guilty, before you even charged me, we should just keep moving forward for the trial date. Because from my understanding, I don't have to pay until I use the service, or do I have to pay and then maybe, just maybe, get the service? And worst case scenario, I could always put an application in to waiver fees by that time, if it comes to it, right? Or maybe the government might, I don't want to say do the right thing, but it's kind of like do the right thing, appoint a legal aid lawyer to help me to settle the matter so that everybody can get on with their freaking life and, not feel like they're under attack for simply going out into the greenhouse or into the potato field to plant seeds. If you would have asked me that I'd be going through this 10 years ago, when I first started in this yard, people, I would never have been able to tell you, because my brain doesn't think in terms of, I like science fiction. I like reading science fiction. I like reading horror stories, right? I'm not too much into romance, not really into crime drama, right? But the thing about science fiction is you just read it, you don't actually live it. Some of the stuff that we're going through now, we're actually living through, right? Because you have to remember, I put a lot of time and effort into this yard. But now that it's almost done, I can't really enjoy it because I'm wondering who wants to fucking murder me next. And where it's coming from. Right? With some big players in there in terms of the Legion, aka public union sector. Not to mention the wannabes that attach themselves to things that, lets them just sneak around, basically, right? I mean, it's like those poor farmers. They're trying to plant their fields, raise their families, be productive to society, and they're facing the same shit, just only within their realm, right? So I know I'm not alone. That's what I'm trying to say. And I wish it wasn't like that. I wish I could just be focused on, positive things, we're going to do this, going to do that, and just be able to improve on life, but it's okay, so I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to go plant potatoes, okay, because the rain has stopped, the sun's come out, and so I'm just going to take everything to the fence, get it ready to go over the fence. Thank God I do have another pitchfork, right? Because I can't find the one that kicks around my yard. I'm sure it will show up. You know, it's not the first time I haven't been able to find it. And I'm just going to go back there and start pulling down pulling the tarps back. That's when I'll come back and I'll grab the camera and I'll show you what's underneath those tarps, okay? Because if you don't know how to start a garden, this is just one way to get going, and you just never know where you might be. One day you might have some land and you'll look back and oh yeah, I remember that video I seen with Judy. This is how you get rid of these nasty weeds that you know are absolutely producing nothing, and you can create yourself a garden, and it with less effort in terms of having to shovel out the weeds. You kind of want to kill them off first, right? And then you bring in maintenance, right? So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to just pop those babies into the ground real fast. I'm going to work fast, 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 okay? And then, depending on the weather, how cold it is, right? If it's raining, you know, what the lighting is like in terms of how long it takes me to get those potatoes in the ground. I'm either going to go into the rabbit hutch and start pulling out hay, which I probably won't. I'd probably just come in, make myself coffee or whatever, have a little bite to eat maybe, right? When I'm working hard, I don't necessarily like to eat. I will wolf down food if the girls made it for me, right? But at this point, you know, I'm not worried about food. And then, depending on the time, I'm just going to go into the greenhouse and get on with those seeds. See, you have to kind of go with the weather. Bend with the weather. Bend with the rain. Right? It was raining. I had a plan. Then it got this. Was that plan? Then I went back to the original plan. Right? I'm tired, people. I'm just gearing myself up. Okay, kind of taking a little detour. Do you see that? I am digging this up. I'm putting potatoes here, okay? I'm putting something here. Maybe I'll put squash here, and maybe I'll put potatoes over here. Anyway, I'm putting in some potatoes somewhere in here. Normally, I put potatoes in here, right? This is my little leek patch. Okay, there's some sage. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Lucy, when I send off your box, I said I'd give you a little sage plant. There should be something growing in there. I don't know what. We'll find it. I brought out my clippers to maybe cut back some of these branches. But look. Oh. Look, that's a big job. Right? But do you see that marrow? I can cut it all down. And I can find homes for that, people, that somebody would just be like, oh my God, oh, I'm having this for dinner, yummy. And I'll give it to Pastor Granny, right? She'll be able to give to somebody that likes that stuff. So, I'm out here for 8 hours anyway, between 7 and 8. I think that's when it starts to get dark. Okay, it's 12 now, I just had a pork chop, so I'm good. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to pull this back. I'm going to have to clear out this first and then sift through this, push it over here, and then because of the dirt, right, it goes this bag. I have to get this bag out of here. That's when I was moving pond dirt. But as I was moving pond dirt into here, which is kind of like, well, not pond dirt, but landfill, where the pond was dug out, that dirt is not very good dirt. But I threw in a lot of those organic apples, and you can see the worms have already done their job. Right, you can see that. Look how nice that is. Look, that's beautiful dirt now. What is it with these crazy cats? Where is it? I got Mickey and Little Black Lily. Little Black Lily, what are you doing? You're just following me around. Okay, I'm so cold. It got warm, I had to take off my sweater, then it got cold, it was raining, then it was sunny. What a strange day. I only worked on that side of the house here, just in here, just a little bit, in terms of digging in the dirt. So, I'll show you, and then after that, I'm going to just upload this video, and I'm debating whether I should go in the greenhouse and poke around in there for a little bit, but I've got like some serious chills right now. I'm watching, like my hands are cold, right? And I just put on the sweater, right? Again. Oh. I don't want to turn up the heat because gas went up like 100% this last winter. Like serious, you don't know. I don't know if it was 100%, but it went up a lot. So anything that the government's giving to people for whatever reason in terms of because of what the government is doing to people, that money is just going to pay for gas that you've always paid because gas has gone up, right? Unless, of course, you want to freeze, which I'm freezing right now. I really want to turn up the heat, but like I said, the gas is like, you know, who wants a $300 hydro or gas bill again, right? Like my gas bills have been coming in at almost $300 a month, right? Well, it's been winter, but still, there was one month it was more than that, right? But I phoned him up. I said, did you jack up your gas? And he goes, yeah, right? So, and of course, food's getting more expensive and just everything, right? So anyway, I'm watching Rebel News right now about these Albertans, right? There's a lot of Albertans out there trying to stand up and fight for justice, for community rights, right? And they're doing secret courts now, people. Like, I don't know why people can't see that what the hell is going on is beyond Canada in terms of this is not Canadian politicians making these decisions. This is something from overseas that's taken over our governments. Okay? I mean, who has secret court in Canada outside of a mob? Or like a cartel, or like, you know, a gangster group, a criminal organization. Okay, and they're using the public union sector to facilitate their criminal activity, which I've been talking about for years, but it's like completely out of control now, right? Where you know, they're taking over churches, people. They're taking over businesses. Basically what they're doing, these governments, is they're creating more of a welfare state with that two-tiered society, with the predator class obviously getting richer and richer and richer, right? And then, you know, the poor getting poorer as the, I guess you could say, middle class is being forced onto being on welfare, people. Okay, if you've got businesses being forced to shut down, and then secret courts to arrest people if they protest, right? I'm going to provide the link to this, okay? Then that tells you that the government is trying to create these individuals to go on welfare, so that they can be demoralized, right? You know, bring in another generation of misfits and dysfunctional human beings through that manufactured poverty, right? Because they're not going to have the same chances to try and dig themselves out. Not that once you're in that position, you can dig yourself out, because it's extremely hard to dig yourself out. And all that's happening is that those individuals that are being targeted like this, people, they're the ones that are going to be on the auction block for organs, for body parts, right? And like, I don't know why people can't understand that it's not going to get, there's just something like, oh, I don't want to say that we're being run by freaking androids that are completely soulless, but it's pretty much boiling down to that, people. Okay? This is not 40 with Germany and the Nazis, but it sure kind of seems that way, right? in terms of the behavior from our government employees that, well, we serve the public. We work for the, well, you know, this, and that's another thing. What about the duty of care? There is no more duty of care. It's duty to lock you up, isolate you, punish you, keep you locked up like a dirty secret, don't let nobody see you, you know, like in terms of so-called health care. Well, like what? They're canceling surgeries on people. You know, these people out here, these Adrian Dix and Dr. Death, Dr. God, whatever she is to you. Oh yeah, we're just canceling a few surgeries. It's not a lot. I think it's 425. You know, but in light of that, we have to keep our healthcare system running. We got to keep it running, you know, right? They're doing everything to prop up the healthcare system when the healthcare system itself is so corrupt, people. There is no such thing as duty of care. People need to stand up and say, where the fuck is the duty of care, people? It's written right into the Criminal Code of Canada, and then it goes and it gets into all your legislations. You know, they're always, oh, duty of care. You can't fight for Uncle John because you didn't have the duty of care. We did. You know, no, you didn't have the duty of care. You took him and you turned him into a freaking marshmallow after you robbed him blind. Well, where the hell is the duty of care of that, people? That's why I'm going to keep fighting. Where was the duty of care for ShaMay? They were too busy scary. Oh, she's got a superbug. Put on rubber gloves and wear a cape because we wouldn't want you to touch her body and figure out that she's actually embalmed. No, and we're just going to, you know, charge the taxpayers $500,000 to keep the dead body hooked up on machines after we made $500,000 pure profit just selling her organs on the black market, people, to the, you know, the predator class, the upper echelon that's got all the money and never seems to go on fucking welfare because they're the ones that are pushing the welfare, right? They're the ones that, you know, they want you to be poor. This is the perfect example of what I'm watching right here. And once you're in that situation, those families, I'm telling you, people, you know, they're going to start dying. They're going to start dying. One here, one there. You know, neighbor will find out, oh, you know, so-and-so died, and they're not going to let them look at the bodies. There's not going to be no independent autopsies, none of this shit. And they're fucking harvesting organs. As they're bringing in an immigrant fucking population from wherever they come from, right? With them, you know, by the nuts. They got the immigrants by the nuts, people. I mean, they can make them do whatever they want because a lot of these people want to just get the hell out of their own countries and think they're going to come to Canada and find something better. Well, in the old days, yeah, you could have found something better, but not anymore unless, of course, you're a freaking scoundrel. And when have I said this before, people? When have I said the only way you can succeed in fucking British Columbia, Canada, is if you're a freaking scoundrel? Basically. You gotta be in bed with the devil in order to fucking be able to not think that your life is in jeopardy. Or your family's life is in jeopardy. Or that you're gonna be locked into poverty for the rest of your life. Because of, well, you know, rules. These people have businesses. And they're being shut down through secret courts. All under the guise of duty of care, people. Duty of care, that obviously there is no care. It's a breach of trust under false pretense. Anyway, my water's boiling. I'm going to make myself coffee. I got to warm up, right? I'm debating whether I should just go out to the greenhouse and poke in there, but you know what? I'm tired. I'm serious. You know, my back is killing me. Armari's getting heavy, and like I said, you know, my body is feeling it in terms of carrying him and stuff. And I was bending and lifting and shoveling and yanking and pulling and, you know, just this little part over here. And I definitely freaking feel it, right? And I mean, like, I'm trying to be out there positive, people, but it is so hard to be positive when you feel like your life is on the line, okay? Because of these so-called secret this and secret that, plotting and scheming in back rooms in some other country and then sending it through fucking email, the script that's probably being written by AI. Like, seriously, this stuff, I'm telling you, some of it is AI, artificial intelligence. Okay? People need to wake up and smell the freaking coffee. Like, they really, really do. Like, oh, I don't know what they think is going to happen to them. Right? If you had a business, I mean, I only lost $40,000, people, as a poor person. Okay, but what about these people that are losing 100,000, 500,000, you know, like in terms of businesses, right? An actual, the small business, right? And their whole life is wrapped up in their small business, right? And they can't work. They can't work. They're not allowed to work. Doesn't that sound familiar? You're not allowed to work. You know, but when you're on welfare, this is what you can do. This is all you can do, and nothing more and nothing less. And it's 10 times worse now because they've completely removed duty of care out of the healthcare system and put in breach of trust under false pretense. As it's a wild, wild west situation where you just simply disappear, right? And the people who took you never get held to account, okay? That's pretty much where we're at with things, people. Okay? So, you know, it's just getting more and more bizarre, right? I mean, who would have thought secret courts in Canada just to shut down a honest business, right? And then throw in their face that they're doing it because they're, you know, under the duty of care. Well, these people that are having this happen to them, they need to start challenging that duty of care. Like, seriously. Because there is no duty of care. This is something that an android fucking wrote. And this is something that androids are putting out there. Like, honest to God, I do believe that these super cops all dressed up like they came from freaking some spaceship. I'm pretty sure they're not 100% human. No, they're no. No. This is just a test run with what they're doing, and eventually they're going to come in with their manufactured robots. Right? And they're just going to continue corralling the people, right? And it's going to go back into the, 1500s when they were packing people on boats, right? And, you know, bring them off the water in the bows with chains on. Right? You know, some would die, some wouldn't make it, some were pushed off the planks. Like, seriously, this is the same kind of shit. We're going in the same kind of fucking direction. I don't know how these politicians can possibly think that people aren't going to start thinking like this, okay? You're shutting down, they're shutting down legitimate churches, they're shutting down legitimate businesses, like, right? Going into secret courts without the person even there, right? You know, don't even know what's happening, right? Just to shut them down. Is this person going to qualify for welfare? Right? And then what? They have to pay their dues and sacrifice one of their kids, right? To the ones that basically destroyed their life. And you know what I'm saying? In terms of sacrificing. Right? Just so that they don't wipe out the whole family? Oh. Or what? Are they just going to be blindsided like my family? Right? You just wake up one day and then you realize what the hell has really been going on? Well, they need their organs in Alberta too, right? They need their teeth. They need their skin. They need whatever it is that their hair. ShaMay had a full head of hair, people. Honestly, I think they took her hair and put some wig on, and that's why they didn't want us to take a piece of her hair. They did something. Because these guys are morbid. Seriously. So anyway, I'm going to show you this little patch that I did, and I don't know if I'm going outside because I'm... Oh. Okay, so I know it doesn't look like much. But I got that up out, right? You can see I did a few potato mounds. Some were already growing in there. Okay, I don't know, I missed a whole bunch in there. And then I just tidied up this area a little bit. I pulled out the sage plants, right? And that was a lot of, that was heavy work. And plus, you know, I don't have the stamina like I used to. When this all starts to grow, this obviously gets darker, right? So I left this area right here. I'm going to try and just leave this little part right in here for squash. Outside of that, tomorrow I'll go next door, providing that it's not raining, and I'll plant potatoes over there, right? And then, like I said, this year I'm going to probably dehydrate some.